You know, you run every emotion that day. You know, you get upset. You know, we have our private moments where we overcome with emotion, and then we have a celebration, you know, of Stephen's life, but not just Stephen's, all the lives that were lost on that day. You know, we want to make sure we don't forget. But we also want to make sure that we do good in their name.
That was the chairman and CEO of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, Frank Siller, sharing with us his motivations. He is always inspiring. It's incredible to see.
The best. So good to see him. We've got a couple of special guests that it's so good to see right now, too. Steve Hill is the Vice President of GM North America. Stephen, thank you for all you do for Tunnel to Towers and for being here. And the man who needs no introduction, Joe Piscopo.
Great to see you.
Great to see you, Joe. Thanks for being. Thank you both for being here. Are you guys ready? I mean, we've got 25,000 runners who are ready to kick this race off. So let's turn around real quick.
Let's do it.
And let's give them a countdown and let's get this thing going. Joe, you're going to do the honors of the blowhorn. Let's go on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they are off.
The 16th annual Tunnel to Towers Run Walk in New York City, and it begins.
Such a joy to see 25,000 strong starting off this Tunnel to Tower Foundation race each and every year. The turnout gets bigger and bigger, and that's what we like to see. We've been covering this race from day one, and to see the numbers that have just grown tenfold, 50-fold. Mary, it's incredible to see all these people.
Think about the numbers. 250,000 individuals have retraced Stephen's footsteps since the run's inception in New York City. You know, 350,000 runners have participated worldwide in Tunnel to Tower races.
And it's really incredible to see. Joe will bring you in again. $85 million raised by this foundation in the years that it's been around. It's incredible the work that they do. And you talk about being able to bring that groundswell of emotion into an event like this. It just seems, as I mentioned, it gets bigger every year. I think we have a hard time thinking we're going to top the year before, but we do.
Exactly right. But, you know, we thank CBS, too, for always being here. We thank Steve Hill from GMC for allowing us to raise that much money. So there's the fire truck right behind us, but it makes me think of when Stephen Siller tried to get his truck, you know, through the tunnel here, and he couldn't, so he just abandoned the truck right there because there was so much traffic, ran full gear on, only to perish, you know, at ground zero. So we never forget that. And I'll tell you, being here, GMC being here, this is what it's all about. The best of America comes right out of the best of New York.
You know, we are inspired to be here each and every year. It means so much to us. And for you, you've been a longtime supporter of the foundation.
My father told me how great this country is. You know, my people came from Italy. You know, they came here, learned the language and the laws of the United States of America. And my dad went into the United States military as a captain in the United States Army Air Corps. And he told me how great this country and how grateful we should be to be Americans. And I'll tell you, New York exemplifies that better than anywhere else in the country.
Joe, you come to this race, you see not only the able-bodied running, but earlier you've got the injured servicemen and women who start the race earlier. To see that heroism, not only for them to even sign up in the first day for the service that they provide, but then to be injured and then to come here and perform like this. It's incredible.
It's so humbling. It is so humbling when you meet these warriors that put their lives on the line for us. They don't even question, and their attitude is so positive, and it's so great. And we met them all last night. We had a big event last night, and then we'll see them all on stage today in front of 35, almost 50,000 people. You know, right there, right a block away from ground zero. I mean, what we could accomplish as Americans. You know, again, with the help of CBS too, with the help of Steve and GMC and Home Depot and all the great companies that come on board. It's a great celebration, and you know what? We're gonna have a great time on the other side. You gonna be there?
Finish line, baby. Can't wait.
Come on.
As you've been saying, you know, for 16 years, thousands of people have gathered here at the mouth of the tunnel to retrace the footsteps of Stephen Siller. They come here to raise money for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, and what good work that foundation does. It's a yearly celebration of what can be done when thousands of people come together and rise up together. The sight of 25,000 people rising up together is awe-inspiring. The Siller family honored the heroism of their brother Stephen and the other first responders by creating a charity that gives back to those who protect and serve our country.
You know, we want to make sure we don't forget, but we also want to make sure that we do good in their name, and by building these houses and taking care of our first responders, the families that are left behind when they die in the line of duty.
On September 11th, 2001, Stephen Siller was off duty and on his way to meet his brothers when he learned of the attacks on the World Trade Towers. He turned the truck around and raced towards the danger, but was stopped at the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. Siller couldn't be deterred from his date with destiny and his duty to save lives. He strapped on 60 pounds of gear on his back and ran through the tunnel and into history.
I'm sure he was running and saying, God, you know, I have children, but his job was to save people, and that overcame everything.
And when the building went down, I turned to my mother-in-law. I said, Nancy, I think I just lost my brother.
Stephen Siller and 342 of his firefighting brethren perished on that fateful day, along with close to 3,000 Americans, drawing our country into a war. Stephen Siller is a modern-day hero and an inspiration to many. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation has moved mountains in Stephen's name to help those who protect the American way of life. The Building for America's Bravest program constructs smart homes for the most critically wounded soldiers. Each smart home is custom built for each of their specific needs. The goal is to allow these heroes to regain their independence and not to be relying on others to take care of their everyday needs.
I will be right by your side.
This house being all one story, I mean, that is just one story makes it 100% easier, just day-to-day things.
And that's exactly what we're trying to do, give back some of their independence that they lost.
The foundation also is focused on helping families of first responders who have died in the line of duty here on our shores. They raise money to help pay off the mortgage of the surviving family members' homes.
It was a huge relief knowing that they could raise that money so that we wouldn't have to worry about losing our home.
When natural disasters have ravaged our communities, Tunnel to Towers has stepped in to raise money and help with the relief work. They assisted in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Sandy, and are now assisting the people decimated by Hurricane Harvey.
What we're doing here for the hurricane relief is there'll be no admin cost taken out. Every dollar that is donated, you give us a dollar will go to Texas, and you can bank on that.
All of these efforts are supported by a combination of individual donors, corporate funds, and events like the Race Today, the Tower Climb, and the golf event at Liberty National.
This isn't charity. This is an obligation that we have. Any of us who take advantage of the freedoms we have in this country, we only have that because of these men and women who volunteer to serve. So what do we owe them? We owe them, God forbid, if something happens to them, we should be there to take care of them.
The Tunnel to Towers run started as a small community event in 2002 with 2,000 runners. It has grown to include runners from all over the world, with 350,000 people running in Stephen Siller's honor. The foundation has raised an incredible $85 million since 2002. One thing is for sure, when 25,000 people get together with hope in their hearts, they can accomplish great things.
That we have each other, and for that we have each other.
That feeling of hope being replicated across the country, 50 races this year alone.
And those images, Mary, I mean, you cannot see them enough. It's incredible. The Tunnel to Towers' main focus is, of course, to help the catastrophically injured servicemen and women by building them smart homes. These ultra-modern, technologically advanced homes allow these fiercely independent men to regain control of their own lives in the comfort of their own smart home.
And I don't need no explanation, 'cause baby, you're the boss at home.
Because Becoming the boss of your own home and reclaiming the ability to take care of yourself gives these proud war heroes their dignity and their independence back. Building for America's Bravest is the Foundation's program that constructs custom-made homes to meet each individual's specific needs.
The house we live in now, I can't go to half of the house. Here, I can go to 100% of the house. It's a game changer, for sure.
Being able to reach everything and everything being made for me will, just make it actually enjoyable, which would be great.
The goal is to remove barriers so that nothing holds these men back from living a fulfilling life. Cutting-edge technology allows these double, triple, and quadruple amputee servicemen to control everything in their kitchen, bathrooms, and bedrooms with an iPad. By the end of the year, they will have either delivered the keys, broken ground, or have designed an incredible 56 smart homes since they started the program. This year alone, they will deliver 14 houses and have promised 140 more smart homes to our heroes.
Each house is designed for the individual injuries that each one of these young men and women have. There's some very big things and there's subtle things inside each one of these houses that make a tremendous difference in their lives.
Corporations like Home Depot, Johnson & Johnson, the New York Jets, Carpet One, and GMC donate a majority of the funds needed to build these smart homes. Individual donations are important, as are events like this year's golf outing at the exclusive Liberty National, which raised enough money to build an entire smart home.
This event is really important because these homes are obviously very expensive. These are men and women who have lost their arms and legs, fighting for our country, keeping us free, making it possible so that we can have a golf tournament like this.
U.S. Army veteran Sergeant Joshua Stahl lost both his legs while serving in Afghanistan. He received a Purple Heart for his service, and he received the gift of independence and a new smart home from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
It means that I'll be able to actually cook without getting burnt with the stove. It'll be a lot better.
No detail was left out to make the home accessible for Stahl, and no decoration, present, or holiday decoration was left out for his family. Josh, his wife, and 5 children moved into the house on December 23rd, making this a Christmas to remember.
It shows that everybody worked really hard to complete this before Christmas. It's really nice and beautiful.
It is a beautiful day in Bethel, Pennsylvania today, is it not?
It was a warm June day that Marine Corporal Tim Donnelly will never forget when he received the keys to his new smart home.
I've never had a home of my own. I've never had anywhere that's just been ours. And it's ours to do with what we want and to live how we want. It's amazing.
Donnelly lost both his legs after being hit with an IED in Afghanistan. His first home was specifically built to give him the freedom to conduct his day-to-day life with much greater ease. His house unveiling is tribute to one of Donnelly's other skills. He famously sung Hallelujah at the Stand Up for Heroes concert at Madison Square Garden. On the day of his house dedication, he was surprised by New York tenor Chris Macchio, who performed a special version of Hallelujah with lyrics written especially for him.
Blessings came in unusual way. A house was built, we dedicate today. A future home, a place to live, and let us sing hallelujah.
I'll tell you, Chris Macchio's personalized version of Hallelujah for Tim was just an unforgettable moment.
So inspirational to hear that. And Alice Gaynor is with Chris Macchio right now. Let's send it over to you, Alice.
Mary and Chris, I have chills listening to that song. Such a beautiful song. Chris, as a member of the New York Tenors, you have performed at venues all over the world. How emotional was it performing at this venue, at this home dedication?
It was extremely emotional. Like you said, I've had the privilege of performing all kinds of places, but this was a very intimate occasion, and I was just so glad to be a part of it.
Again, one of the most beautiful songs, and you personalized it for Tim. What was his reaction after you sang?
Well, there wasn't a dry eye in the house, and Tim specifically, he cried, and it was just such a heartwarming thing for me, and I'm just, like I said, I was just so glad to be a part of it, and I know it meant a lot to him and his family as well.
Okay, Chris, thank you so much. Chris and Mary want to send it back to you to the start line.
Okay, Hey, Alice, thanks so much. And we're still here with Joe Piscopo and just taking in the sights and the scenes out here. It's incredible. It's just an incredible day.
Joe, your final thoughts just on
Well, you think about all those years ago, you know, on September 11th, and it just rips your heart out. It took out so much of us as a nation, but to watch us recover, and we live it every day. CBS 2, you know, Mary, Chris, you guys do it every morning. We live it every day, how we could come back, the resilience. It shows the greatness of the country, the greatness of New York. And I want to accentuate on the positive energy of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. And when we step in front of all those people, almost 50,000 people, man, you can feel the energy, and that really, really does show that you just can't put us down. We ain't going down. You know, remember that, right? I never went down, Ray. You never got me down, right?
Chris, true pleasure.
Hey,
true
God
pleasure,
bless
as always.
CBS 2. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
It's great to have you here. Thank you so much. So as the final runners make their way through the starting line, let's get to the finish line. What do you
Let's
say?
do it. I think they're going to be heading your way. I know some of them are already there at the finish line, but we still have thousands more that haven't even officially started the race. Maurice, KJ, back to you guys.
Yes, they are. Thank you so much, guys. Who better to put it in perspective than Jersey Joe? We ain't going down. This is all about positive energy today, and you can feel it.
Absolutely. I'm a little jealous that he's over there and not with us this year.
He left us. That's not, we don't appreciate that, Joe. But thanks for being here, as always. There's a lot more coming up this morning, including what the foundation is doing to ensure that this kind of thing continues into the future, helping so many more people. I'm going to show you how they're doing that.
Also, I'm going to share with you the 3rd annual Tunnel to Towers emotional tower climb. This had a finish that will really warm your heart. You don't want to miss this story. We will be right back. Stay tuned to Tunnel to Towers.